Oh, I don't know if this is something I worry about, but there's a whole lot of things that a lot of people, supposedly people that are educated and has knowledge in everything, uh, seems to think about certain things. And for instance, I'm talking about uh, climate change, global warming, all that stuff. Uh, my thoughts is that people, humans, are so smart and intelligent that they're almost dumb. You know, the weather, the climate has changed for millions of years. Scientific facts. There's been global warming, there's been ice ages and all that stuff, and it's nature. And we seem to think that we can now control that. We seem to think it's us that's making things change. Well, we contribute to it, you know, with pollution and stuff like that, and we contribute to a lot of things. But there's not too dang much that we can do to stop the climate change. We contribute, that's for sure. And but we're not as smart as we think we are. We think we're extremely smart, and we are. I mean, we can make things, you know, that was unheard of 100, 200, 300 years ago. That was all. Uh, that was all stuff that we television, that was a fad, supposedly, you know. Just like I thought in 1988 that computers was just going to be a fad. And I had $20,000 invested in Dell computers. And just days after I invested that money, I decided, no, that's a bad deal. It's just going to be a fad. Well, it wasn't a fad. And I lost probably millions by dumping that stock almost as soon as I got it. The guy that did that for me, I thought he was an idiot, but turns out I was the one an idiot. But we can't change things that's going to happen. Look at Greenland right now. Greenland's going to pretty much just disappear one day, because the ice is melting. That's a country of ice. And it's melting, it's going away. There's some research on it. Uh, and I see people like out on the Pacific coast, California, all them countries along the west coast. And they got all this valuable land that sits up on cliffs just above the ocean. And you can see it eroding, just eating away. Just eating away. And some buildings have already fell into the ocean. But yet people want to live there and build there and pay all that expense for something like that, knowing full well it's going to go away. And and for the life of me, I don't know why people buy property like that on the coast. It's in peril, you know. It's not safe. Maybe not in your lifetime, but in somebody's lifetime, they're gonna lose that. And if the glacier melts continue, the ocean levels are going to rise, and you talk about eating up some land in Florida, it's going to happen. And there's not too dang much we can do about it. We may think we can, but everybody's got their opinions about stuff like that. Guess what? I don't know how bad uh, how bad how bad is Swiss cheese? And I've got several blocks. Let me do that down here. I'm going to take a little. I got several full block, 2-pound blocks of Swiss cheese, 3 or 4. And I snack on this. I don't know how bad it is for me, but I cut them in little pieces like that, and I eat them. But it just strikes me how intelligent the human race is, but yet we're so stupid. You know, the Bible says there'll always be wars and rumors of wars. And that's because humans can't get along. It's true in everything. You got families that can't get along. I got that in my in-law family. There's a piece of property sitting up there in the mountains in North Carolina, just sitting there going to waste. Probably worth about $30,000, just the property. The house ain't worth 2 cents. But you got one person that wants to sell it and everybody get their share of the money. Then you got another one, well, I don't want that person to have it, and stuff like that, you know. Matter of fact, if I had the money, I would go up there and force a sale on that. but then you have to get a lawyer and all that stuff. And and then you have to team up with the person that wants to sell it. And my daughter would be one of them because she's got part in it. I may have interest in it. I don't know. I know my daughter does. And there's several people involved now, probably about 7 or 8 people involved in that inherits that property. But if I could afford it, I'd force a sale and get that piece of property. That could be done. But people are just not. Nobody wants to get along. The Russians doing all this crap they're doing now because of one man sitting up there. I don't know. I just can't. I can't understand it. It's sure been cold today. It was down to 42, but it's supposed to be getting back up to around 80 starting tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. And hopefully we'll have a warm month coming up. I don't know. But at any rate, I'm going to have to bring some plants in. I'm not going to worry too much about my... Had a little interruption there. My battery went dead. I had to change batteries. But now I've done lost my train of thought. It's just a lot of things that's going to change. In my heart, I believe things are going to get worse. I really do. Sooner or later, this nuclear stuff, sooner or later, somebody's going to be drop the ball on that stuff. I don't know who's going to get hit the worst. Maybe the whole world, I don't know. It's not. If it happens, it's sooner or later it's going to happen. And I worry about that. I worry about things getting to where I can go to the drugstore to get my meds or to the VA and they don't have them to give to me. Or the drugstore don't have the meds. They can't get them. The supply chain is all screwed up. I worry about that stuff. I don't worry like really stressed about it. I just know it's going to happen. And I know there may be global change. I don't know. There may be another ice age. That I'm sure of. There will be. I don't think it will get down this far where I'm at. But if it gets real bad up north, that means a lot of people's going to be heading south. And with the I'm having a senior moment. The glaciers, that's what I was trying to think of. Those things are melting. Chunks, huge chunks of it. and that's going to bring the sea level up. So a lot of things are going to change. Maybe things will be better in the mountains, but a lot of things that we take for granted, like going to the store and getting your groceries, and you know you can go there and they're going to be there. You know, going to the pharmacy to get your meds. You know you can go there and get your prescriptions filled. Well, I feel like one day, not going to happen. The meds are not going to be there, and then everybody's going to be scrambling trying to figure out all these old-time remedies that people used to take. There was a time nobody even knew what an aspirin is. Well, fact is, I know how to make aspirin. I know what plants you can make aspirin from. And, but a lot of people don't. So, if I was a real filthy, wealthy person, I would have I forget, one of those prepper bunkers somewhere, and it would be totally stocked with food, and I would replenish it every year. I would use stuff and be putting new stuff behind it to keep it replenished. Because folks, it's going to happen. And people do strange things when they can't get food, when they can't get water, when they can't get a lot of things that they take for granted, or you can't get gas to put in your car. I don't know what to tell people they ought to be doing. I don't know. I don't know what to do myself. It's just people are not extremely smart. They got a lot of intelligence about making things and building things for convenience, and making an automobile, and making all these meds and all these organ transplants and stuff they do, and we're so smart. And just tears me up. You know, like I'll be watching a video or a news piece about somebody run into something and they're trapped in something, and people will work days on ends trying to free them people up and get them out of there and save their life. But on the other hand, you got people that will shoot to kill other people just because the government says so. But then they'll turn right around and work their ass off to save a person. That don't make no sense to me. I'm glad I never had to participate in Vietnam or World War II or Korea, where I actually had to see a man and shoot him, kill him. I can't, I have never shot a deer. I see that deer walking up. I watched a video the other day. The lady was shooting with a bow and arrow, and they was sitting up, snuck up in a tree and waiting for that deer to come by, and they knew deer would come by. They'd been watching them. They knew their habits and stuff. And they're sitting there and waiting. And then when this buck come by, I think it was about an 8-point. It might have been a 10-point. It was a nice sized buck, deer. And she's got all this electronic stuff on this bow, and she shot that deer. Killed that deer, and she was so happy. My first Florida buck, she was saying. She was so happy. And there that poor animal out there in his house, that nature out like that, that animal's in their house. And they got to worry about somebody shooting that deer for the sport. Just for the sport, not for the food. Of course, they're going to eat it. But I mean, they could go to a store and buy deer meat if they like deer meat that were raised, you know, on a farm somewhere to be slaughtered like cattle. But oh, she was so happy. I cannot shoot an animal. If I can go, if it's meat that I can buy at the store, I'll go buy it at the store. I'm not going to go out in the woods and kill one. Same thing on chickens. I hated it when my grandma on Sunday, she always would fix fried chicken for Sunday dinner. And she'd go out there in that backyard to that chicken yard and grab a couple of chickens by the neck and just wring their neck and then flop them down on the ground and let them die. Or she'd lay them out, grab them by the legs, lay them out there and chop the head off. I hated that, because I was very friendly with them chickens, except one mean rooster she had. She never would chop that one's head off. But I can't do it. I can't do it. Maybe if it was really hard times and I come across a chicken that I could catch and kill and eat, maybe I would do it then. Maybe I would get used to it. I don't know. Take my glasses off. But I don't know what, you know, I can talk about stuff, but I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how to solve anything that's going wrong in the world today. I don't even have the power. The only power I have is to vote at election time for who I want in and who I don't want in. So, I don't know, it just perplexes me that how smart we are, but on the other hand, we ain't too dang smart. We're not too dang smart. And we got people that are born and raised, and they grow up to be cold-hearted killers. Will attack other people and kill them. Will attack kids and kill them. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I wish I had answers and the power to put those answers into power, if word, but it would do something. I just don't understand. But all wars where we go out and kill one another, is started by a very small group of people, like your president or your dictator and his little handful of cohorts. That's the ones that starts it. It's just like Vietnam. We absolutely had no business in Vietnam. And it didn't start with just Johnson and it started with Kennedy and even President Eisenhower, our hero from World War II. He even had a hand in it. Eisenhower, he had a hand when Fidel Castro took over Cuba in a revolution. He wanted to meet with Eisenhower. And Eisenhower snubbed him. Eisenhower wouldn't meet with him. Eisenhower snubbed him, and look what happened. Here come Russia and picked up the pieces that Eisenhower started. And then we had all that, the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that crap, and all because of our president, and that's my thinking about it. He started it. And it carried over to Kennedy. And it carried, and it's been, of course it's eased up quite a bit now. But even Vietnam, you know, that was, we didn't have no business getting in that. We should have got our butts out of there and let it play out. Let those people work their problem out. But no, we didn't do it. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on stuff. It don't amount to a hill of beans. Another piece of cheese. But that, I don't know, folks. In our economy and all that stuff is so fragile. It don't take much to upset the whole thing. It doesn't. And it's the same thing with Russia. I have a sneaking idea if Vladimir Putin had have known all the repercussions he was going to have by invading Ukraine, I have a notion he wouldn't have done it. But he was listening to his generals and stuff, you know. We'll take over the country in 3 days and stuff like that, and that's been 9 months. So anyway, folks, I guess that's it for this video. I just want to talk about this. I wish we were so smart. We could be doing so much for the good of the world. And I don't mean we, just America, but I mean we as America and Russia and Germany, all those countries, France, England. And another thing, while I'm thinking about it, I think in this age and time, these countries with monarchies, you know, kings and queens and all this stuff, it's useless. Unless the people you just want that, unless you enjoy letting people become extremely wealthy by you paying these taxes towards that monarchy, you know? It don't make no sense. It don't make, like, here's Prince Charles. Well, he's king now. And why is he king? Because he was the first son that Elizabeth and Albert had. That's why he's king. He didn't have to earn it. He didn't have to do nothing but sit on his wealthy butt and go to school and stuff like that. He didn't have to earn it. He didn't have to be elected. It was just given to him. And the same thing with Prince William. Now, when Charles dies, William gets it. Unless he happens to die or something. And then I don't know if it goes to Harry. Boy, they don't want Harry in there anymore, do they? And I think Harry's probably thinking the monarchy has had its day. And there's 2 or 3 other countries that's got kings and queens. I think Denmark does. The Netherlands and stuff. But I absolutely don't believe in monarchy. That's been a useless thing for years and years and years now. But anyway, folks, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.